Hello, everybody. We're here today with the legend, Kai Greene. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much for making the time to have a conversation with me today. We have a list of people trying to talk to you right now, so this is gonna be brief. But I mean, we were talking about something I wanted to have on camera. For those who actually don't know who you are, can you tell me a little bit about you and your journey?
Okay. Well, my name is Kai Greene. That's K with the AKA. A lot of my friends know me as Mr. Getting It Done. I'm a personality influencer, and I'm also a professional athlete that has gotten the opportunity through years of hard work to kind of find myself fortunately enough to get in the spotlight, stand on platforms with the opportunity to kind of share a little bit of my experience in an effort to offer a little bit of insight that talks about overcoming obstacles, challenges in an effort to get to where you really want to be in your life. I was fortunate enough in my career, in an effort to go from where I started uh, in my fitness journey, to do some work, distinguish myself as being really competent and good at being able to achieve a really specific result. That result, it allowed me to get to the highest levels of my sport, and with that, become an ambassador to all aspiring athletes in my sport, still trying to get somewhere.
I told you guys, he's a legend.
Nah, I didn't say a legend. I didn't say a legend, but there's something to be said for. Um, I started my fitness journey with the desire to improve the size of my biceps and the size of my chest. And in my effort to discover how to do that, I ended up learning that the thing that was going to shape those things in the direction that I wanted to go most was not really anything that I thought. My biceps, my chest, my legs, my back really was my mind, you know? So the ability to start to develop what was a bold vision, um, and doing the work necessary to realize that and allowing that voice to speak louder to me than any of the objections that would come up along the way is how I was able to work my way into becoming a distinguished athlete in my sport. Beyond that, now in a position where I can, find myself comfortable when awarded with the spotlight opportunity like right now. The ability comes with that to recognize that with doing this, with being here, the idea is to be responsible enough to give back. So there's an audience that will listen to you because you're here that may not necessarily know how you got here, but because you're here, I think if you're able to represent the responsibility well of what you're supposed to do when you're here, then guess what? You will establish doing a very good thing. So I believe the idea here is to be in touch with increase and to aim for with what I say and share with you today to give back, give to that idea positively of increase. My fitness journey was not a physical, it was a mental one. That mental one allowed me to overcome a lot of emotional pitfalls. Um, Overall, the quest for self-mastery, self-development through self-mastery is the way I found to improve the size of my biceps, my chest, and the picture of my life and the way it's shaped.
In all the areas.
Of no whole areas, and I was like, yeah, absolutely.
Um, I have one last question for you. Uh, what does your physical journey taught you the most? I want if you could just describe it in one single thing.
So,
I mean, because you're like Mr. Getting It Done.
hey, with the AKA, let all the people say.
I mean,
Uh,
I'm not, and I think it's difficult, like consistency, discipline. When we're talking about that, like sports teach you some sort of like discipline, and it's not about the body. We're talking about that. It's about not being able to not giving up. And sometimes with financial aspects, a lot of people already gave up. They are said it's not for me. I'm not gonna do it. I can do it. So I want to hear your thoughts on that.
so with saying that, also a lot of times what happens is we can feel I'm a person I'm not 21. I'm really not. I'm at another time in my life where the struggle can be very real to imagine that, oh my God, wait a minute, I might be too old to try to pick up these new skills. They say there was these old statements that when I was a kid coming up that said, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Yes. And a lot of times I think you, the pathway to overcoming some of the new challenges that you're faced with is vested in the ability to care enough, to want to achieve enough that you're willing, if need be, to relearn, to learn again, or to learn for the first time some lessons that will allow you, when implemented in strategy, the opportunity to overcome the challenges that you're faced with. So, education, 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 with keeping yourself open and available to receive the new information. Uh, if there were, as you asked me, if there were one thing that I would want to say, I've recognized this. My thoughts are powerful, and I believe all of us have. You will either be your own most powerful ally or single worst enemy. You know, there is no one that will be more influential in your personal life than the man or woman that you see in the mirror. I've learned in my physical journey in my my steps towards trying to become a top athlete in my sport. I've learned that the person that's going to be able to show up and show out most in any matter of my life that matters most to me is me, you know? Uh, and just like my body becomes a representation of how I think, how I eat becomes a representation of how I think, how much care I give myself, example of how you. So your thoughts are very powerful, and your thoughts become the thing that shapes the life around us.
Thank you so much for sharing that all that wisdom with us. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna let him go now.